Good morning, everybody. Today, I, Hitangshu Sarma, along with my friend Keshav Padia, would like to deliver a presentation on effective negotiation skills. We will be discussing the definition of negotiation, its main features, the stepwise process involved in negotiating, alternatives to a favorable negotiation solution, the negotiation mistakes, and then we will be taking up any doubts that you might have. Negotiation is a communication process between two or more parties in which they consider different alternatives in order to reach a mutually agreeable solution. The following are the main features of an effective negotiation process. At least two parties are involved in the negotiation process. There should be a common interest in reaching a mutually acceptable solution, or what we call as a win-win situation. Both the parties exercise some influence or power over each other. Finally, both the parties believe that there is some scope to persuade the other one to modify their original position. The various stages involved in a negotiation process are preparation, interaction, closing. Preparation. It is the stage where we take an overview of the whole situation, understand our position as well as that of the opponent. Here we list down the things we can't afford to compromise on and also the points where we don't have to be rigid beyond a certain point. Interaction. In this stage, we open the talks and define certain ground rules for negotiating. It is very important to listen as well as respond while negotiating. Another crucial aspect to remember while negotiating is to study the opponent's non-verbal behavior. Certain traits can tell us the breaking point of a person. Closing. This is the final stage where we look for a win-win situation for both the parties. But if the talk results in an impasse, we look for the nearest possible alternative to the desired solution. The results of the discussion need to be formally written down and signed by both the parties. And now I hand over to Keshav Padia.
Moving on to alternatives, we can also refer to them as inferior ends of negotiations. It is not necessary that we will be able to persuade the other party on all our points. There are certain points where they might not be willing to compromise. In such cases, we look for alternatives. The alternatives must be prepared well before the meeting by analyzing the entire situation. There is no time to think about the alternatives at the negotiation table. While looking for alternatives, one should keep an account of what are the points where one can compromise and under what circumstances. Also look for conditions where the opponent might be willing to compromise. Never give up on points which are the basis of your negotiation. Let us now see 7 common mistakes made while negotiating and how to avoid them. First is poor planning. As discussed earlier, planning is indispensable to a good negotiation. Second is thinking that the pie is fixed. Well, it isn't. Don't assume you'll always have to compromise in a negotiation. It's not unusual for both the parties to want the same outcome of a negotiation. And third is failing to pay attention to your opponent. You need to analyze the biases your opponents bring to the table. If you can get your opponent to accept your view of situation, you can influence the amount of risk he or she is willing to take. Fourth is assuming cross-cultural negotiations to be similar to local negotiations. Cultural insensitivity can lead to major problems in a negotiation. You need to tailor your tactics to each bargaining situation. Fifth is paying too much attention to the anchors. Well, what are these anchors? The first offer on the table in a negotiation has a strong pull or anchoring effect on the bargaining dynamic. You should be aware of the anchor price, but don't overly fixate on it being right or wrong. Sixth mistake that we all might make is to cave in too quickly. You should always offer a lower price, if only to make your opponent feel good about the deal. You may come up to the full price in the end, but at least your opponent will feel as if he or she made you work for it. The last is gloating. Never gloat after a successful negotiation, because it may drive your opponent to extract the difference from you sometime in the future. So today we discussed about negotiation skills, its main features, the stages involved in negotiation, the alternatives to the desired result of a negotiation, and the 7 common mistakes made while negotiating and how to avoid them. If you have any queries regarding this topic which you feel have not been covered in the video, please post them as comments and we would be glad to reply to them. Thank you.